Every morning, the same cycle begins. You turn off the alarm, and your first reflex is to open your phone. Sometimes you eat too much. Sometimes you sleep too little. And you make the same promise to yourself again. Tomorrow I'll change. And tomorrow comes. But your life stays the same, because every time you try to start a huge change, you try to become someone else overnight. And every time you give up at exactly the same point. But let me tell you a secret. You don't need big change. You only need 1%. 1612. Kyoto, a young samurai apprentice named Takeshi sat on his knees in front of his master. His hand was trembling because he had been repeating the same mistake for a year. He drank every day. He stayed up late every night. He skipped training every morning. He'd been in this cycle for a year, and every time he said the same thing. Tomorrow I'll change. But he never changed. That day, his master Yamada-sensei asked him a question. Takeshi, how does bamboo grow? Takeshi was confused. Master, I was talking about my bad habits. I know, and I'm asking you how bamboo grows. Takeshi answered. Slowly, I guess? No, bamboo grows 1% per day. Every day, just 1%. But after 5 years, it's 90 feet tall. Yamada paused. He looked into Takeshi's eyes. But you try to change 100% every day, and you fail 100% every day. That day, Takeshi's life changed, but not with a big change, with a 1% change. And today, I'll show you how the 1% rule changes lives. The trap Takeshi fell into is a trap you know too. He also thought he could change his life with a single decision. No alcohol starting tomorrow. I'm waking up early. Starting tomorrow. I'm a new person. Starting tomorrow. This is oak mentality. Grow fast. Look big. Impress everyone. And fall at the first difficulty. If you want to learn more about oak mentality, you can check the previous video. Yamada-sensei took him to the garden. He pointed to 2 trees in the garden. An oak tree, big, strong, and showy. A bamboo, thin, quiet, unimpressive. Which one do you think is stronger? Asked Yamada. The oak, said Takeshi. It's much bigger. Yamada smiled. Wait for a storm. That week, a typhoon came. The oak resisted. It stiffened. It cracked. It fell. The bamboo bent. It flowed with the wind, and it stood. When Takeshi saw this, he understood. Big changes break. Small changes endure. Yamada nodded. Kaizen. Small but continuous progress. Just 1% every day. But 1% is so small, said Takeshi. It doesn't change anything. Really? Yamada pulled out a piece of paper. If you get 1% worse every day, what's left after 1 year? He calculated. Almost nothing. 97% loss. And if you get 1% better every day? Takeshi calculated again. His eyes widened. 37 times stronger. That's it, said Yamada. Life is shaped not by big decisions, but by small choices. That day, Takeshi made a decision. He wouldn't change 100%, just 1%. Maybe you're right in this cycle too. You start fresh every Monday. Everything resets every Friday. And in the end, you say this sentence to yourself. I can't change. But the truth is this. You're not the problem. The problem is believing the big change fairy tale, because someone who learns to grow like bamboo never returns to their old self. The next morning, Yamada gave Takeshi his first task. For 30 days, you'll only change your life 1%. Only 1%? Takeshi was surprised. Yes, because this is too small to fail. Yamada explained. 3 rules. Rule 1. Don't try to eliminate the bad habit. Just shrink it. Tomorrow, drink 1 sip less. 1 sip. So small that failure is impossible. When the 60th day came, Takeshi had changed. But there was a problem. He was progressing too slowly. The other students at the dojo were experiencing huge changes. One said, "I quit all my bad habits. I haven't drunk for 30 days. Another, "I train 2 hours every day. I've never missed." Takeshi was only progressing 1%. Nobody noticed. Nobody counted this as success. That night, Takeshi finally went to Yamada. "Master, everyone is progressing so fast. I'm too slow." Without saying anything, Yamada took him to the garden. He planted 2 bamboos. One planted 1 month ago. One planted 1 year ago. "Which one is bigger?" he asked. "The one planted 1 month ago. Because it's taller." Yamada dug into the soil. The roots of the 1-month-old bamboo were close to the surface. The roots of the one planted 1 year ago, 6 feet deep. On the surface, young bamboo looks bigger, but it will be uprooted in the first storm. Old bamboo looks small, but its roots are deep. No storm can uproot it. Takeshi realized at that moment, others are changing fast, but they're not putting down roots. Exactly. And you? I'm changing slowly, but I'm putting down roots. Yamada nodded. On the 90th day, they'll go back, but you'll still be standing. And that's exactly what happened. When the 90th day came, the other students, the one who didn't drink for 30 days, got drunk on the 91st day because his willpower was exhausted. The one who trained 2 hours every day quit on the 95th day because it wasn't sustainable. But Takeshi? He was still continuing to progress 1% per day. And now, nobody could stop him. Because this wasn't willpower. It was identity. 1 year later, Takeshi was no longer the old person. From the outside, not much had changed. But inside, everything had changed. 365 days, 1% every day. The math was simple. 1.01 to the power of 365, 37 times. But the real change wasn't in the numbers. A year ago, he forced himself not to drink. Now, he didn't spend any willpower not to drink. A year ago, he forced himself to train. Now he felt incomplete. When he didn't train, he hadn't changed his habits. He had changed his identity. The secret of Kaizen isn't actually becoming a little better every day. The real secret is exactly becoming a little more of the person you are every day. Takeshi changed 1% for a year. But what was that 1%? It wasn't drinking 1% less. It was being 1% more of someone who doesn't drink. The difference seems small, but it changes everything. Most people fight bad habits. I won't drink. I won't drink. I won't drink. This is oak strategy, resisting, and being doomed to break at the first weak moment. Bamboo strategy is different. When you say, "I am someone who doesn't drink," your identity changes. Thus, your habit changes automatically. 10 years later, Takeshi was now a master. And one day, a young student came with the same problem. Bad habits. Master, how can I change? Takeshi smiled. He did what Yamada had done. How does bamboo grow? Takeshi is 50 years old now. 40 years ago, he was a failing student. He drank every day. He skipped training every morning. Then he learned the 1% rule. And for 40 years, he progressed 1% every day. Now, a legend, but only for those looking from outside. For Takeshi, he's still doing the same thing, continuing to progress 1% every day. Now I want to ask you a question. A question I want you to answer, truly and honestly. Who do you want to be? A disciplined person? A healthy person? Someone who keeps their word? Someone who doesn't back down even in tough times? You actually know the answer, don't you? Somewhere inside, you already know who that person is. But most people make the mistake right here, because people ask the question, who do I want to be? But the next day, they continue living their lives the same way. That's why the second question is more important. Tomorrow, what does that person do? Really think. What does a disciplined person do tomorrow? What does a healthy person do tomorrow? What does a strong person do tomorrow? Maybe they exercise for 1 hour. Maybe they wake up at 5 a.m. Maybe they completely change their life. But wait, thinking big is nice, but bamboo doesn't grow that way. Bamboo starts small first. So what I'm telling you is this. Tomorrow, do 1% of what that person does. Just 1%. Do you want to exercise for an hour? Just do it for 1 minute. Do you want to wake up at 5 a.m.? Just wake up 1 minute earlier. Do you want to read a book every day? Read 1 page. This may seem small to you, but that's exactly the secret, because you'll have no excuse not to do something this small. This small. And when you do it, you'll have cast a small vote for yourself. Who am I? I am someone who exercises. I am someone disciplined. I am someone who keeps their word. The next day, again, 1% again. The day after, again, another small vote. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, 30 days, 60 days, and at some point, you'll notice that something is changing. You're not forcing yourself anymore. You're not someone trying to do it anymore. You're someone who does it. After 90 days, this is no longer a habit. This is you. Because that's how identity is formed. Not with big decisions, with small votes, every day, quietly, without anyone seeing. Just like bamboo. Bamboo doesn't seem to grow in its first years. It puts down roots underground. It deepens. It strengthens. Nobody applauds. Nobody notices. But one day, when it starts growing, it rises very fast. And at that point, people say, how fast it grew. But those who know the truth know this. It didn't grow fast. It just put down roots for years. Your life will be like this too. At first, nobody will notice. Nobody will applaud. Nobody will say, wow, you've changed. But without even you noticing, days will turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. And one day when you look back, you'll see this. Your old self is gone because you made a small decision every day, 1% every day. And these small choices determined who you are. Remember this. Big change doesn't happen all at once. But when small changes accumulate, your life completely changes. So don't make a promise to yourself today. Don't say, I'll change my life tomorrow. Just say this. Tomorrow, 1%. Just 1%. And the next day, again. And again. And again. Because 1% seems small. But when you do it 365 times, it transforms you into someone completely different. This isn't a miracle. This isn't a motivational speech either. This is math, bamboo math. And if this story sparked something in you, I want you to write just these 2 words in the comments. 1%, because this isn't just a comment. This is a decision. A vote you cast for yourself. And if you want to learn to put down roots like bamboo, to grow 1% every day, and how real transformation happens, you can do this by following the channel. Because we don't teach fast growth here. We teach deep growth here. Every week, we bring ancient samurai wisdom to modern life. So start small today. Put down roots. Be patient. And remember, when the storm comes, the tree that stands is always bamboo. 1% every day, like bamboo.